MACT.
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 Music Association of Central Texas.
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 It's all about live music.
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 MACT, the podcast. Welcome to the MACT podcast. My name is Stephanie Chavira. I am your host and vice president of the association. Today we have episode 4 of season 2 of the MACT podcast. Right. Yay! And in the house we have the one and only Mr. Jon Holt, who is actually kind of very important to the association. He was a part of the board when I started serving. You were a part of the board.
Yes.
So you kind of took me to your wing for that little tiny time that we served together, and it was a
we had some
good time.
I knew it was going to be in good hands.
Yeah.
You know.
Jon, go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us about yourself. Where are you from?
All right, I'm Jon Holt. I was raised in Corpus, South Texas. But I moved around a lot because I was a Navy brat, but my dad retired in Corpus, so I got to spend the most time there out of all my brothers and sisters.
Nice. How many sisters and...
I have one sister and 2 brothers.
Okay. Are you the youngest?
I am the youngest.
You are the youngest.
Yeah.
And you currently live in...
Temple, Texas.
Temple, Texas. Why Temple?
Temple because when I got out of the Army, I got a contracting job out at Fort Hood, known as Fort Cavazos now.
Yeah.
And we were actually living out in Killeen, and my son was getting about the junior high age and the middle school thing, and we heard about a lot of gang activity going on in Killeen at the time.
Oh.
So that was our motivation to kind of scoot out of Killeen and see where we could find I could commute into work.
Yeah.
But, kind of the better school district was Temple. So that's what brought us to Temple.
And you've been there for how long?
20 years now, almost 19. In Temple, almost 20 years. Back in Texas, I got out of the Army in 99. Came back to Texas in 99, Central Texas.
That's a long time.
It is.
How's that even possible? You're like 21.
I know, right? 40,
How does
32.
I
appreciate that one. Yeah.
I mean, age is just a number, so don't let it fool
I
you.
feel young, so.
You are young, Jon.
Appreciate
Old
that.
is like 105, so we're young.
Exactly.
We're just babies.
Just getting our stride on.
That shit is correct.
Yeah.
Well, Jon, we got our feet wet about yourself, so why don't you go ahead and serenade us and give us a little bit of a taste of what we're going to be seeing on the singer-songwriter competition on August 27th.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to do any of the songs that I'm going to do for that.
Well, you can do that, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't plan on it either. I was going to do some older stuff. I came out with an album in 2008 with David Zychek. It was called Eagle Feather.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and this is one of the songs off there that I wrote.
Great.
It's called Musical World. Studio out on the lake, a man in the window says it's a take in this world. My musical world. Fantasies fill my mind. Realities are swept aside in this world.
hypnotized, realized in a way only music can bring. Surfing swells in my mind on the waves, amplified by the music in me. In my musical world, in my musical world, in my musical world, in my musical world. Cigarettes, all beer and wine. I take the stage. I wanna blow your mind in this world. My musical world. Feel the vibe, hypnotized, realized in a way only music can bring. Surfing swells in my mind on the waves, amplified by the music in me. In my musical world, in my musical world, in my musical world, in my musical world. La 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 la. There's music in me. In my musical world, in my musical world, in my musical world, in my musical world. My musical world.
Very nice, Mr. Holt.
Thank you.
Very nice.
You should relate. It's about making music.
That was
Going out
that.
there.
That was a very. You had me. Every single word. I was. I mean, it was. I'm speechless. And you know, I think it's such a beautiful thing to be able to witness all of you wonderful musicians to be able to do this and just such a raw environment.
Oh, yeah.
You know, yeah, we do have microphones and there's cameras, but the sound, this video, what you're gonna hear in your house it does not give justice about the way any of these people sound, any of these guys sound, and that's why I cannot emphasize enough. Come out and support them. Come out and support them. It makes a difference, and it doesn't just make a difference for them, but it makes a difference on your local businesses as well. So
I really like the sound of this room too.
I told you, yeah.
It's a cool room you have here.
Thank you so much. I thought so too. I really lucked out. Shout out to my landlord Darius Brown. He's a wonderful guy, and just a little bit here and there, and it can do a little bit of wonders. So if you want to come out and come back and throw in some songs, just let me know.
Right on.
We're here.
All right.
Mi casa su casa.
Appreciate that.
Did you have any direct music influences while you were young, Holt? What made you go towards the path of music?
I remember some of my earliest memories is watching my oldest brother Jen, that's almost 10 years older than I am, doing some alternate picking on the guitar. I remember sitting on the floor watching him play the guitar, and I fell in love with the sounds he was making. I think he was, back then it was probably that Classical Gas song that he was maybe trying to pick up at the time, but it just sounded awesome to me. And a little later on, when I was in the third grade, this was pre-third grade, I picked up the ukulele.
Okay.
And they had a ukulele program at my school, and I picked up the ukulele, and I got good at it at the ukulele, doing the little 19s, 20s songs that they were having us do. H.E. Sweet, 5'2". I was doing those kind of really old school standards, and I got to the point where a little later on in the 5th grade, there was a teacher that thought that I had it going on, so she used to take me to the other classrooms, her friends that were other teachers, and had me perform my little 2-song set in front of the other kids in the classroom. So that was my breakout of performance too. Yeah. So I had that 2-song set down.
So you've been in the spotlight for a while.
Yeah, for a while. Yeah. But that was the jump start there. So
that's awesome.
Yeah,
Is there anybody besides your brother that was a musician?
Yeah, well, I had some friends that we all got around, and we jammed and just played rhythms and switched off on the lead and just tried to sing some blues kind of thing. But it was my musical influence is probably that goes back to my big brother again. A lot of his classic rock albums that he had around the house, Led Zeppelin, those kind of things that really got me into feeling that rock.
What was the
sound?
What was the aha moment that you had of, whoa, I like this feeling, this is what I like doing, and I want to keep on doing it?
Well, I mean, I got the feeling when I was going around doing that 2-song set with the ukulele that I thought, ooh, I like
sort
this.
of very young age.
Yeah, because I was doing open mics as a teenager in Austin, not Austin, Corpus Christi. There was a place called Rusty's Burgers.
Okay.
And they had a duo back there, Turner and Silverman, right? Ron Turner and Jay Silverman, and they did a lot of Jimmy Buffett, a lot of Gordon Lightfoot, a lot of just acoustic older stuff. But they would have an open mic night, and I would go up there when I was 16, 17, and 18, and go up there and play their open mic. And they played there for years. As a matter of fact, I'm in the studio making some songs right now in Temple, and on those songs that I'm coming out with, a guy named Rich Segura out of Austin is actually playing an electric lead on those, and Rich played the same open mic I played in Corpus, except he started even younger. He was like 12 years old going into that open mic when I was 17.
What a tiny world.
I know.
What are the chances?
I know. And I've been playing with Rich for a while. When I did the album with David Zaitchik was also really busy with the stuff he was doing. He had his own stuff, and he was sitting in with other people, and he had his own band going. And so when David couldn't make it, and I still had these shows lined up for full band shows, Rich Segura would come up from Austin and sit in. So yeah, so he's been jamming with me since
That's crazy.
2008, 2009.
You're also part of a band, right?
Yes,
tell us about the sound waves.
Okay, yeah.
Tell us about the sound waves,
Well,
John.
there was a period where, I played music to try to, because I like the feeling of performing, but I did the thing for several years, 2009 to 2012 or 13, where I was doing, 4 or 5 shows a month, and it was pretty steady. I had this steady gig going. I actually got a little burnout on it, because most of the shows I was doing was for, people doing their thing. I felt like the soundtrack in the corner, nobody was really paying attention to. So when I'd get that one, person that liked the song or something, that was pretty cool. But I wasn't playing any listener rooms or anything like that. And I just I got burned out on the, the setup and teardown too.
Yeah.
I got just crispy on it. And so I was only playing places that had a house system for a while towards the end, because I didn't even want to go through the thing. So I stopped kind of gigging altogether, and I kind of fell away from it. I thought maybe, I got other things to do. I had some personal issues going on too. But a friend of mine that I hadn't talked to that played, he played on the album, but he was backup vocals. He contributed Eagle Feathers. His name was Dave Irons. He's actually a rock singer, a front man for another popular metal band. Critic Hill was the band, and they still do things to this day. But anyway, he was getting married, and so I went to the ceremony, and then I went to the after party, which place called the Pit Stop in Nolanville. And I was walking in the place, and I hadn't played for a while. I was going to play that day, too, just to play some songs, because everybody, there's a lot of people there that were going to play. And I was walking in. This was a lot of Dave's family that was showing up, and Jamie's family, his wife. And I was coming in the door, and this one guy that I didn't really know related to Dave, but I knew they were, he was related to Dave somehow. And I introduced myself, and he goes, "Jon Holt, Eagle Feather?" And I go, "Yeah, Eagle Feather." And he said, "Oh, my son really liked that album. He'd have his headphones on, just jamming on that for a long time." And I was like, "What? Are you serious? That is so cool." So, that kind of gave me a little spark there. It wasn't an immediate thing, but it just kind of, I digested that a little bit and thought, wow, maybe, some of this music does, kind of influence other people. So, so after that, I kind of picked it back up. I started writing some songs, and I got with my sons, who I did a duo with my oldest son for the longest time.
I've heard
you didn't even
and
see
you
me doing solo hardly ever. You would see me with him. Doing the bass.
Your kids are very, very talented
I'm
as
blessed
well.
that they like to play with their old man too.
You're living the musician's ultimate dream.
Yeah, right. Having your own.
Yes, jamming with your kids.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we put together a band called the Sound Waves, and we were ready to do some stuff. And in 2000, this was in 2019, and then 2020, we actually had a big show that we were doing with some other local bands at O'Brien's for a St. Patty's Day celebration.
Oh yeah,
Well,
James Stone was telling me about that.
And then that got canceled.
Oh.
So we wound up later doing a Texas Music Cafe thing. We played a couple other places, but we didn't do many shows. But we did go to Steve Rosas, his studio in Waco.
DRS?
DRS Studios.
DRS Studios, shout out to Steve Rosas, the Rosas family.
Yes.
Yes,
definitely.
they're awesome.
They are definitely a thumbs up worthy.
2 thumbs up.
Yeah, 2 thumbs up. So anyway, but this was new territory for Steve as well, because there was the pandemic. And everybody was doing the social distancing, and we just started getting the thing together with this. So what he did is they had this mobile, like ice truck van that they used to take on their thing. They used to do the UIL school stuff.
Yeah.
And so he set up the vocals and stuff in that and ran it out to inside his house, the side of his house where the studio's at.
What a smart man.
Yeah, so we're out in the van, so social distancing all the way, but you could hear him on the phones, and we did the coordination and laid a lot of the vocals that way.
That is, if there's a will, if there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah, absolutely.
If there's a will, there's a way. You're gonna find a way, and that was bravo to Mr. Steven Roses. That was very, very smart thing too.
But we never had a CD release party. We never really was with fanfare, and then we decided, hey, we can do better than that. You know what I mean? I thought the songs were pretty good. They were fun. There was something to do to the pandemic, take your mind off that whole deal, right?
Oh my God, it was horrible.
So we went back in the studio, and there's going to be 3 songs coming out soon that we worked on.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And it's you and your
Matt on bass, my youngest son Scott on keyboard, and Rich Segura on guitar.
Okay.
And I guess I'll let the cat out of the bag now. I just won't let my sister see this podcast. But her son, my nephew, is a professional drummer out of Nashville.
All right.
And I sent him the stuff from the studio. He actually did the drums, sent the stems to the studio where I'm doing them.
Awesome.
Yeah, so it's a true family kind of effort
awesome,
there.
Dude. There's a lot of musicians.
And I didn't tell her we were doing it. I was just going to surprise her with the final product. Say, hey,
well, this is not coming out until next week, so maybe she won't get to see it.
Yeah.
Just don't tell her.
Or I might have it out, because right now I'm expecting him in any time, like the final listen to before it goes into mastering.
You might just receive it the second you walk out the studio. You don't even know.
Yeah.
It might happen.
It might happen. It might be in my email at home.
You don't even know. You don't know.
I don't know, but it's close. It's close. But
Jon, what has been the most difficult lesson that you've had to learn in the music field?
Oh man, most difficult lesson. That's a hard one. I remember seeing that question because you gave me an idea to look at.
I like to make them think.
Yeah, exactly.
I like to get answers that not everybody else has gotten. So,
well,
what has been the most challenging thing as a musician for you?
Well, the challenging thing was figuring out that even if I did, 4 shows a week, that I probably wouldn't be able to survive on on a musician full-time thing. That was kind of a, thing, and realizing that you have to have traction, you have to have other sources of income, whether it be a day job or just some different streams. Working on, I know a lot of creative people out there that just have a lot of different income streams and work on different projects where all of it together,
it's
definitely survivable. That's enough to, make the bills and, have some left over. But if it's just strictly performance,
it's fairly hard.
Yeah, and, selling a little bit of merch here and there, but you got to have some other income streams. Traction on a song would be a great income stream.
I personally think that about 75% to 80% of the musicians that I personally know have some form of fashion of a second type of job.
Right.
So it's tip your musicians.
Yeah.
Tip us.
Real. Yeah.
John, what do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
Oh, I want to put this album out. I want to continue, making some new music. But, I've done a lot of residencies in the past. I've been fortunate enough to have a few residencies here and there, and play regularly at some places. But I think a residency at a cool place that I like to be would be where I see myself. I'd like to find that place, and I'd like to just, do a weekly or whatever it is, and just have that residency to, for people who like the music, they can come and enjoy it, and hopefully enough come where, and keep the residency without it being the cricket nights. Oh, John's playing again tonight. Nobody's going to show, it's like, then I'm not going to do it. It's going to be. So coming up with good songs and stuff, because, hey, look, I've learned you're not going to be the most talented out there.
Never.
The best thing that you can do is you can be your best self.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And be your, and talking with a lot of these other musicians I met through MACT, Dana, John
Mr. Dana,
and talking with legends like Rodney Pyatt, who's been up and down the thing, where that's what they encourage, and you don't really see that, and you try it, and that's what I'm doing, that's what I'm doing, but in essence, you really think about it. That's what the goal is to be your best self. Not to compete with any other musician that's out there, but be your best self. And I believe when people do that, they can find that authentic sound that people can really relate to.
Yeah.
It's that, it's you being 100% you. And it doesn't even have to sound that great. People feel that when you're being 100% you. People can relate to that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think, I know I went through many years up and downs, about how I felt on my confidence level, whether I had the imposter syndrome, for a while, which is a real thing out there apparently that I heard more and more about. And I was thinking, ooh, maybe I had that, or maybe I still have it. But that's what it's about, just, being yourself and being the best self that you can be. And that requires practice, for sure. And,
a lot of it. Practice makes perfect.
And, you want to sound as best as you can, and that's what it takes. It just takes repetition.
That is correct.
Yeah.
That is correct. When is your next event?
Ooh, see, I'm doing the songwriter thing at the end of the month.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then after that, do you have anything on the books?
No, I'm going to start. I'm looking to start gigging again later this year.
Cool.
Yeah, so I'm going to have my son dust off his bass too. You know what I mean? So he can join me. So I'm not trying to carry the whole each set, but I wanted to get back out there because we're going to have something to, to kind of launch. I was kind of waiting to get back out on the gig scene until I had something, to have. And these songs that are coming out of the studio now, those are going to be my somethings to have, to promote. I mean, there's still some processing that needs to go through them so I can, get them on all the platforms and stuff like that. And, but once they're out there, then about the same time, I'm going to start gigging again so I can, kind of sync that up a little bit. And so I don't have any on the books yet, but I do have the songs coming out soon, meaning that I'm going to put some stuff on the schedule.
Good.
Yeah.
We're looking forward to it.
Appreciate that.
And then remind me, I might be wrong. There's just so many musicians that I come across with. Sometimes they share their project with me, and they're just because there's just so many of you guys that I speak to on the daily basis. Were you having some sort of project with Texas Music Cafe?
I do. Yeah, that's been staying busy.
Share about it.
Okay, sure. Well, the thing is, I mean, you asked about the music, my music type stuff. That's what's happening with my music. But to stay busy, I support MACT, events you have going on, and I'm also working with Texas Music Cafe.
Yay! Shout out to Chris Harmonian.
Oh, yeah.
Yay!
Texas Music Cafe. So I've been hosting their Legacy Lunch show.
Legacy
They
Lunch.
Came up with Legacy Lunch, and what it is it's on location. It's like a Texas reporter thing, Texas country reporter, except it's built around a songwriter for that episode, right? So we go out to a location, we talk a little bit about the location, and then the songwriter does 3 songs. And something that's different about Legacy Lunch is they dedicate each song. They give a dedication for each song, and it's their original stuff. And we got our next one set up to be filmed on the 13th at Barrows. We're going to have Wes Perryman.
Barrow Brewing in Salado. Shout out to Katie Hill as well for promoting a lot of live music.
Oh, man. Oh, yeah, they're great.
Katie Hill is wonderful.
Absolutely. Well, she's the first MACT big event that we did.
She is. And
she let us have it out at Barrow.
Yep.
That was a great success.
So I heard, and that is where the next one will be again.
Excellent.
November 2nd. The winner of first and second place will have a paid spot at the annual fall festival at Barrow Brewery November 2nd.
Oh, nice.
So first and second, as well as a cash prize for winning first and second.
Nice.
So will be a little bit of money. Not like you're gonna pay your bills with it, but hey, little some, we're musicians.
Yeah, and Legacy Lunch, that's a paid gig too. The musicians actually get paid for that one as well.
So make sure that you're following that Texas Music Cafe. That they do a lot for live music and for musicians in the area. So make sure you're supporting them. They are. They just need a lot of help. So make sure that you're attending their events, that you're paying their tickets, and so that we can keep them in business and continue to have wonderful source of live music.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
John, where can people find you if anybody wants to book you?
Well, I'm mostly on Facebook. It's Jon Holt Songs. That takes you to our Facebook page, band page of Soundwaves. My son's running the Insta side of that, but it's been inactive lately because we haven't been doing anything, kind of thing. So that'll pick up, as we go. But it's launched off the Jon Holt Songs page off Facebook.
Wonderful.
Jon Holt and the Soundwaves.
Jon Holt Soundwaves on Facebook. Any website or any Spotify or?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Soundwaves, a self-entitled EP that we put out in 2020 in the middle of the pandemic. That's on all the platforms.
All platforms.
We didn't go through a lot of the promotional or CD release parties, but it's on, Spotify and,
Make sure you check it out, y'all.
Wherever you find music, your favorite streaming platform.
Make sure you check it out.
Lucky Day by the Soundwaves is one, and then once you get in there, find Lucky Day, then you can find the other 4 songs that came off that EP.
Which it brings me back to this, and I wanted to point this out, but the song that you opened with today, I loved the style of it. It was almost like it had some sort of flamenco-y taste to it.
Right.
It was very...
It was one of the only songs that I ever went through the Taxi thing with. Have you heard of Taxi?
No.
You send them a song and they'll give you feedback on your song. Like pros will look at your song and give you feedback. And I only submitted one, and that was the one I submitted to them. And I got some great feedback. But it's paid feedback, so you don't know if they're just sucking up or they really liked it. I was guessing that it was legit feedback because they have a form and everything, and they give comments by each of the things. But that little where I pick it up in that one section of it, in that they mentioned that piece and that it really was driving through there and had some comments on it. But so it's kind of a highlight off the album because of that thing. And I don't even know if the Taxi reviews are still around, but it was back in like 2009, 2010. So almost 15 years ago now. I'm feeling
that
like
is
it's been
good.
a while. Yeah,
quite a bit.
but it was good to just you wanted to get some third-party feedback, and that's what they offered. They offered you some real-world feedback.
There you go.
You know, I should have sent one that I thought was kind of good, but one that was real sucky to see if they'd give me some real feedback on that one. You know, be all, this is a great song. No,
I was just
fire.
about to say, can you imagine if in return they were like,
Yeah.
whoa, you're going to the Grammys.
Yeah, it's like, y'all are full of crud, man. No, I should have done that for sure.
That's crazy.
I should have sent him a turd and said, yeah, what do you think of this?
I mean, I wish you would have, man. That would have made a great story. John, thank you so
Yeah.
much for sticking around. We really appreciate you. We're really happy to have you aboard. We know how influential you've been for the board for MACT, so
Thanks.
it's
Thanks.
been very nice to
It's-
see you come back and participate as a member, and we're really thankful to have you aboard.
MACT did so many great things for me. I mean, being on the
It did.
board. I mean, the meeting, the networking people. I mean, you know Monica Shannon?
Yes,
that was on the
Monica
board?
Shannon.
It wound up, me and Monica Shannon were the same year, went to the same high school in Corpus. We didn't even know it.
My
King High School in Corpus. Was that crazy?
God.
And then, of course, Chris, I got to know Chris,
Mhm.
founder of Texas Music Cafe. And now we're doing projects to this day.
Yeah.
So a lot of things came out. I got to open up for Casey when he did his CD release party like earlier this year,
Yeah.
and you know, things like that. So a lot of great connections in MACT.
There's a lot of very good
Yeah.
benefits to membership to MACT, and I, as I stated this in the first season, you know, it's worth it if and you can literally look at all the musicians that we are all around. And
Yeah.
most of the musicians that we're around with, they have a very wide reach when it comes to their networking. You know, they know venue owners, they know producers and engineers, and it's because of all the networking that they've done through MACT. You know, we're not a booking agency, but we do help you reach and acquire those tools in order for you to be able to thrive and grow out there. And this is another one of the reasons why we do things like this, you know, because we want to make sure that everybody has a chance to put out their music and to be appreciated by the world.
I really like the ideas, some of the ideas you guys came up with even after I left, and I know you took over kind of as membership chair and running that whole thing and finding new ways and benefits for members. And one of that, the discount thing that you started, I thought was a great program, and keep adding to the list of that because it really
is.
gives that MACT member that kind of VIP status at a lot of
It
places.
does, and
You know.
and you know, if you are a venue owner or a business owner and you would like to be of help to a nonprofit that promotes live music in your Central Texas area, get a hold of us. We're not asking for a huge donation. We're just asking that you allow us or give us some help to continue to be able to create these opportunities for other people. Like as I've said before, it's not just about playing music. Music is part of the economy and the infrastructure. And as we've seen in the past 5 years, live music has done such a huge growth within our community that is actually given us a lot of the self sense of community that we had before COVID happened. I feel like it's just finally coming back.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
and this venues that promote live music that help nonprofits are a huge reason of why we're still able to hear live music.
Yeah.
You know, so
Well, you know, some of the conversations that you and I had too when I was still on the board, when we were kind of doing the pass on thing and talking
Mhm.
about membership, is you know, having that focus on the members, and you know, focus on them. What benefits are they getting? What are we giving to
Yeah.
them? And those discounts, the events, the
Mhm.
opportunities. You know, that's why I'm still a member to this day.
Yeah.
You know, and I support it because I believe in what you're doing and how people can network through MACT.
yes, and you'll get to meet some very cool people. And I'm telling you this from own experience. When
Absolutely.
I've met some very cool, smart, knowledgeable people that know what they're doing and that are not scared to share their knowledge with you. Because one thing I love about MACT and our community is that we don't compete against each other. We lift each other up. And you don't see that too often when it comes to musicians. We have a nature, and musicians tend to have a nature of jealousy towards other musicians. And we are very fortunate that at MACT is not the case. And it's very
supportive. And MACT wants to shine that spotlight and build people up, and not have that dog eat dog mentality. I don't know, it's out there. I've experienced it. I've gone down to open mics down there in Pflugerville, and it was my turn up, and the guy running it seemed like he didn't like me. It was my set, and he got it all tinny on the board, and it was real high end, and feeding back during my whole set. I am serious.
I believe you. That's what I'm saying.
He wanted me to totally sound.
I believe you.
He succeeded. I don't know how red I was getting up on stage during my set, but I knew exactly what he was doing, all the feedback. And
that's why I like hearing my own equipment. I'm very weird when it comes to my equipment. We're running sound. I don't care. I'm bringing my own PA.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
John,
open mics you can't control much, but
well, sometimes things happen, but sometimes you just gotta roll with the punches.
Go back like I did.
Just roll with the punches is all you can do.
That's it.
That's all you can do.
Yeah.
Hey, John, it's always such a pleasure to speak to you, and it's always so much fun to hear your stories, and we're so excited to have you aboard. We really cannot wait. So, why don't you send us home with another song?
Okay.
All right. Here comes Jon Holt.
I should have done this one at the beginning because it's called Talk a While. So like you and I have been doing for the last few minutes here. Camped out off a lonely road, I look around and I'm not alone. Fire glows near my heavy eyes, there's lightning bugs and dragonflies. Oh, come on over and share the fire, let's set a spell and talk a while. Where you been or what you got, as you can see there's not a lot, but I'll share. I understand if you're a fan of alcohol and contraband. I've been there. Quick on your feet, it seems to me it's funny that we should meet. Rare that I should find another mind that's thinking strong and running wild. Running wild. Right along some story told of people young and people old. The gist they learned to compromise. It's a story of the truly wise. The sun starts over but I'm not tired. Let's break a spell and talk a while. Where you been or what you got, as you can see there's not a lot, but I'll share. I understand if you're a fan of alcohol and contraband. I've been there. Quick on your feet, it seems to me it's funny that we should meet. Rare that I should find another mind that's thinking strong and running wild. Running wild. Running wild. Running wild. La da 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 la da 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 la da 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 la da da da. La da 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 la da 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 la da 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 la da da da. La da 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 la da 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 la da 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 la da 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 da. La da 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 la da 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 la da 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 la da da da. Running wild, running wild, running wild.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's what I'm talking about, Mr. Holt. Oh, it's a pleasure, man. Thank you so much.
Thanks for
Appreciate
having
you. We're really looking forward to having you on the competition.
you.
So it's going to be a good old time.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Guys, Mr. Jon Holt for you. This is episode, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4. This is episode 4 of season 2. Don't forget to follow us, like us, share, and subscribe on Spotify and YouTube. And make sure you come out and support. So, we did it, sir. That's
Right.
it. Let's do it. See you guys next time.
Peace.
MACT.
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 Music Association of Central Texas.
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 The MACT podcast is produced by the Music Association of Central Texas, a 501c3 organization. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and visit us at mactx.org or on our Facebook page. Thanks for listening, and please support your local musicians and venues because it's all about live music.